Aloha Global Fam, it's Unity Grace here. Just doing a little drop-in with the family as inspiration is flowing in. So we're doing it, we are driving together in Albion. Aloha, Guillermo. Yay, fam. Freedom. Aloha. Aloha, beautiful fam. Aloha, Lawrence. Yay, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Albion. We're taking the ride together. Take a ride on the Unity transmission wave. All right, so we are doing a drop-in, and we still got people tuning in, but we're just going to drop right in. So the transmission that is coming through in the miracle coordinate is just tuning in with the beautiful collective. And on the journey along the grids, I always said, I'm going to show you your blueprint, but you're not your blueprint, and I'm a blueprint buster. Hi, Mr. Sandalphone. Big smile on your face, hands on your heart. So yes, blueprint busting. So of course, we are now merging 9 ways of consciousness in our conscious awareness. So the one, hi Kelly, Crystal, Kelly Jean, the book of Carol Kalman, which I check in and refer to and share often in the miracle coordinate, is a great resource to understand the holographic nature of the creation that we are in. And once we understand the holographic nature, we can learn to navigate ourselves inside of all 9 levels of creation, all 9 levels of initiation that are part of being human, and being superhuman is our goal, our supernatural state as multi-dimensional beings. And so in the book, Kalaman explains how the Mayan calendar worked, and many of the other calendars on the earth were showing us that the ultimate goal inside of the human existence is to merge all the levels of consciousness that we have experienced, from being single-celled organisms all the way up to being a fully awakened human being. And fully awakened means all of the light mechanics turned on inside of our flesh. So our flesh suits are, of course, as we always say, the greatest technology ever. And they hold many secret codes inside of them, and the codes are open through the heart chakra. So the singularity is in the heart, and what Kalaman showed in simplicity is that the different waves of consciousness that we went through, they affected different parts of the brain and different parts of the body. So 4 quadrants to the heart, 4 quadrants to the brain, and so on. And so these different waves of consciousness that we were going through with Gaia were turning on different parts of the brain. And so when we were in duality, it was turning on the brain in different ways, so that we were having a dualistic experience. And the 9th wave of consciousness, which we've talked about before, occurred in the quotation marks Roman Greco-linear, the 9th of March 2011, and was completed on the 28th of October 2011. And that meant that all 9 waves of consciousness, yes, we have talked about this before in the miracle coordinates, that meant that all 9 waves of consciousness within us were now available to us. And when I was at Standing Rock, our golden pod, and of course we're all the golden pod on planet Earth and the golden pod that is working together on the transmissions in the social media crew. We always use the word we, and Lawrence Wendell helped us upgrade it from we to W-E to we W-I, which completely reprogrammed our neural networks in our pods. So we always say we this, we that, instead of I this, I that. So let's see. The 9 waves. So we began as these single-celled organisms, and we were the rocks, and we were the elements, and we were the elementals, and we were the dinosaurs, and we were all of it. And these waves of consciousness in linear time, or what felt like linear time, were very large frequency waves. So all of this is now available within us, and it has been for many miracle coordinates, and in alignment with the planetary systems, because we are the stars. We've just gone through this moon cycle from February 4th, and we did an aurora meditation transmission on that new moon to the full moon, and the guidance said that we were going up to the starry vaults of heaven to receive our source coordinates for our purpose in the miracle coordinate, the aurora, this cymatic that is arranging us into a cohesive field of unity consciousness. And when we was at Standing Rock in 2017, 16 to begin with, and then 17, the guidance came in and said, it's time for unity to collapse duality inside of herself and take everything with her. So this relates to Kalaman's book, and of course the Mayan calendar and so on, about the 9 waves of consciousness and what is possible for we as a collective. And so this is why on other love streams we've talked about, the Buddha. The Buddha is the guy who's sitting there holding all aspects of consciousness simultaneous in the field of awareness without releasing an iota or particle of that consciousness outside the individual self, the individual aura. And so we are Jedis, and we have learned and how to do this, how to hold all of our energy, how to contain it, not suppress it, but how to be present with all aspects of our energy fields and what it means to be human. Yay, cool. And as we do this, we then have the capacity, these are mechanics of our incredible flesh suits, to create the spin, because the natural power coming through the capacity to hold all of our consciousness in a unified field automatically activates the spin. So there is a singularity in our heart which we know about, and science knows about, and so on. And so this is about accessing that singularity in the heart to spin the Merkaba. And the guidance has called it the 9-arc Merkaba. We're not spinning the old-fashioned ones. This is something completely different. It's the triality wave, Trinity. It's the immaculate, it's the conceiving of the unified field of thought consciousness within. So, the 9 waves of consciousness piece and the guidance coming through and saying that it was time for unity to collapse duality inside of herself. And of course, Miss Unity is a messenger. So this is a message for all of we, our capacity to collapse duality inside of we, and we have already done it. And so now we're learning new mechanics of how to fly our ships. So, in this phase of our incredible existence, which we just refer to as the miracle, because there is no such thing as time, and so everything is in the miracle coordinate and all occurs simultaneous in the miracle. Any iota of pain, separation, suffering, any of those things that one might still be describing in their head is just remnants of an old psyche. So don't worry, just bring it, swaddle it in a blanket and lay it by the fire. Get it a hot chocolate to sip on and tell it everything's going to be fine, because it's not real, it's not existent within us. It's just kind of these remnants of energetics that we are playing with, working with, we are nurturing together. And so the way that humans were experiencing themselves as emotional beings had charge to it. So with the transmissions, we often say free of charge when someone has a breakthrough, and because it is free of charge. So the hominis luminous that we are, and the way that we experience creation, is the true experience of the fullness of being human without any lingering emotion, meaning that, like an instrument, we can experience the human experience and go up and down the scale, not projecting the emotion, experiencing it all. This is what sovereign means, to experience it all inside of us. And when we experience it inside of us, it's a completely different experience. So sovereign means that we have the experience in the simultaneous miracle, and there's no attachment to it. There's no attachment to a sad moment or a happy moment. It's just all an experience. And so we have learned in this miracle coordinate that every aspect of the human experience is beautiful and profound, and there's no need to attach to any of it. That's the beauty of being the Buddha. So, all 9 waves of consciousness existing simultaneous. Always. Number 1, whole brain state, cross the ankles, cross the wrists, close the eyes, clasp the hands, deep breathe. If we feel a little out of center, and keep our energetic field high through meditation and all the things that feel good, like walking barefoot on the earth and staying attuned with the earth's process. The all 9 waves of creation simultaneous says that those in the field of unity consciousness have the capacity to assert their authority upon the field, to synthesize all 9 levels of creation. If our vibration is, so this is how it works. Our vibration determines which level of the 9 waves of consciousness we reside in. And when we come into unity consciousness, which is the unification of all polar opposites within us, we have the capacity to affect the field for what we call the collective. That is the 9th wave of consciousness. And how do we affect it? By being an empty vessel for creation to flow through us at that level of creation. So there's 3 stop codons in the 2-strand DNA of the dualistic human, and the final stop codon is called vanity, and that stop codon, the highest frequency, is called purity. So it is really about the purification of the self, but not purification from the place of what religion taught us or all of that. Purification is the holistic mindfulness of every iota of our energy. Just mindful. So we have been using the mother duck analogy. It's like a mother ducky, minding her little ducks in the water, and you just do this with your energy. Just come on, little energy, you're all staying in my full conscious awareness. And in that place, we have the capacity to be in the 9th wave of consciousness, unity consciousness, multi-D. And how does it give us access to multi-D? Because in the 9th wave of unity, we are holding all aspects of our existence, of our being, simultaneous. And in that simultaneous place where we place our focus is what we are creating. So Pleiades for blue spirulina popcorn and blue Pleiadian tea, yes please. And we do this together. So the 9th wave, once again, has the capacity to affect the external existence for all of creation. Why? Because it's in unification with source creation. The 0 is in the alignment, and this is what makes us very powerful as individuals in a unified creation, a co-creation, collaboration. In the golden pod that we have created, we have profound co-creation and collaboration occurring through all the information that is coming through the pod, and then we are collaborating with it, effortless, free of charge. It's just flowing through us. This is the unlocking of the superabundance with us. And so then when we begin to co-create, collaborate, open source, everything coming through us, it takes us into miraculous experiences. I shared that our golden pod the other night was out for a beautiful walk in the darkness, and had an experience of full connection with all 9 waves of consciousness simultaneous, sitting in the center of We's mothership while also in the physical vessel on the earth plane. And the guidance was to videotape what was coming through, and we captured on video the full aurora, the higher self, the I am flooding the field of darkness with light. It's very profound. I haven't posted it yet. So, you know, we have also been talking about the part in Richard Rudd's Gene Key where he talks about the end of the aeons, the end of the trilogy, and what happens through the aeons is that spirit came into the flesh, remembered it was spirit and form, then it became forgetful in the form, became carbon. And now it has been in a process of remembering that it's spirit in the form. And now we are drawing in, exactly as the video showed the other night and the experience we were having, standing in the center of the field of unity consciousness, all 9 waves, up in the Buddhic heavens, up in with benevolent creation, with star nations, sitting in the center of the mothership, the lotus pad, and also being in the human flesh suits, simultaneous. And it's very beautiful and profound because it's confirmation of this ending of the aeons, and how Richard Rudd describes it in the Gene Keys, that this is the point when we are bringing the spiritual energy into the flesh, the full activation of these incredible flesh suits and their capacities beyond our imagination. So these are just coordinates for we to play with and experiment with and invite in through the higher I am to have these experiences, and back to the singularity that's in the heart and the triggering of the blueprint. So any aspect, and I share this one over and over, the blueprint is like a chocolate mold. So we we were spirit and we wanted to get our bearings in form, and so we created ourselves something called blueprints, which gave form, just like melted chocolate needs a chocolate mold. And now the form we have come comfortable. We've solidified our experience in the form, and so now we don't need the chocolate mode. The blueprint is falling away. And any part of the self that is experiencing fear is experiencing it because it is that resistance of letting go of the edge of the shore. It's like the chocolate. It would be like a chocolate that was holding on tightly to its chocolate mold. Hi, Rebecca. It would be like a little chocolate clinging to the edges of a chocolate mold, going, no, I don't want you to go. I love you so much. I'm so in love with you, my friend. And that's okay because, it's an individual process. And also the fear intensifies. Why? Because the collective is now moving through this. So the collective moves in a morphogenic field. And it's why Richard explains in the 55th gene, the transparency piece, and says that those who allow hidden agendas to remain beneath the radar, which is just the lower nature, the lower frequency aspects of the self, for those who protect them, for those aspects of ourself that are in denial of going, actually I am in my lower nature, it becomes more and more difficult. What people actually experience is more physical pressure and fear inside of the self because the collective is in a morphogenic process and the collective is moving. So that's why it creates pressure. It's kind of like the metaphor that I'm being shown is if we were in a human raft on the river. Have you ever seen how ants, they all connect with each other when they're moving across water? It's so cool. And they just hang on to each other, and then they make this incredible raft so that they can move across raging rivers. It's just so amazing. Those ants are such good teachers. So the metaphor the guidance is giving about this piece with transparency and any aspect of us that is in love with the old self, and we're going, please, please, don't leave me. Why is the pressure stronger? Well, the metaphor the guidance is showing is that it is exactly like pedestrians, right? Because it is exactly like if we were in a human raft together, and most of us were out in the busy flood of the water, and one person within our collective raft was still holding onto the shore. It would become more and more a pressure for that amazing being to hold on to the edge of the shore, which is why the Hopi prophecy says, let go of the edge of the river. And what was the prophecy actually referring to? The prophecy meant let go of the ego blueprint, the egoic self. Oh, it's a rock star parking kind of day. Yay. Yeah, the Hopi prophecy was saying, let go of the small self. There are those who will be afraid and they will suffer greatly. So that's why the pressure is increasing. We may feel increased pressure within us. And when we do, that's why it's occurring, because the collective is moving. The collective is tired of, we made the choice a long time ago, and the earth is moving and all of those things together. So the blueprint piece. Now we are moving because it's dark in here. We are just sharing our day together, because this is how all the transmissions come out best, is just when we are going about our business. So 2 seconds. The blueprint. Yeah, okay, so in terms of the blueprint, here's the deal, is any aspect of us that is feeling intensity or a trigger, we're not actually experiencing what it really means to be human. because what it really means to be human is holistic, and the experiences of being truly human are profound, because that's when we have the capacity to hold all of it together simultaneous without projecting it outside of ourselves. As long as we are still projecting it outside of ourselves, then that person that just jammed on the gas on that car might have been projecting it outside of themselves. So when we are still projecting energy outside of ourselves, then we are going to experience a sense of separation. So the goal is to hold it all together, and then we start to feel the Buddha, the exquisite nature of joy and so on. And we're going to tell you why. Because when we hold it together, a subtle vibration called the Sophionic harmonic begins to vibrate within us, the singularity in the heart, and it actually activates the chest cavity. Now, where do butterfly and dragonfly wings come from? The chest of the nymph. Same with us. So when we hold it all together, this subtle energy vibration begins to occur within us, which feels like a hum. Bees don't fly, they levitate because they are humming in the chest cavity, and this is what is occurring through we also. So these are some of the dynamics of why, oh, such a cute doggy going by, of why we want to hold it all together. So anything that feels triggered, anything that feels separation is just an iota of energy to call back to us, because once we hold it holistically, simultaneous, our bumblebee starts buzzing, and we actually feel it in the chest cavity. And when my Merkaba originally activated, we Merkaba in December 24th, 2010, it felt like I had a generator running from we chest and solar plexus for months and months. And that's the Sophionic harmonic, that's the humming of these beautiful flesh suits, our Merkabas. Okay, well, I think that's probably pretty good for now, we feel, and we love all of you for joining us. If this love stream is helpful, please share, and let's continue to open source everything that we are receiving together and co-creating and collaborating it and bringing it all together. Because this is how we do it. Source is informing. All we need to do is share what we are receiving together. And check out our pureenergy.love, check out our Unity Transmissions .love YouTube, check out our Unity Transmissions Facebook page, check out Lucidity Festival. We have the pureenergy.love dome and the water realm, and the whole festival is fantastic. Co-creation, collaboration at this aurora level, which is what we all came for, which is the true unification, the true unified sharing on planet Earth together, and we are in celebration. So yes, if this love stream is helpful, please share. Guillermo is smiling, and we all are smiling together. We love we. And check out all the amazing meditations, collaborations, co-creations we've been placing on our Facebook pages. Guillermo Unity, Unity Grace, amazing meditations with light language, and Unity, the Unity Codes.love. Guillermo has now also the incredible light emanations that he is bringing in from creation, and the transmissions are bringing in the same. Oh, and by the way, we are now officially in contact. You know, that contact thing, well, it's real. Infinite love and aloha.